So, Dr. Marcelle, I want to talk about microbiota today. We hear this term constantly now, and the impact of it and the importance of it and how to keep it healthy. But let's start off by defining what is microbiota. And I also sometimes hear the term microbiome. So, what's the difference? So, I hand it over to you to explain this to us.
Yeah, so the microbiota is all different kind of little organisms that we have throughout our body and on our body. And the microbiome is often referred to in relationship to all of their genetic material. We can't forget that they have all little genes also, like we do, right? So there's just a lot of research lately. It's incredible how it just has this field has exploded. I think they're realizing just lately how powerful and how important us living with these little creature is to us and to our health. So we have trillions of them in our body, and they're located all throughout our body. So we have them in our mouth, in our whole digestive system. We have them in our vagina. Like if you hear about yeast infection, so that's your microbiota that is messed up. So it's imbalanced. And we have them in our sinuses, everywhere on our skin, in our nose, in our brains, in our lungs, like they're everywhere. I think they will find them even more places than that. But for now, it's incredible. And what's incredible also is that they're realizing of what they are producing in our body and how they influence our immune system. So our immune system is our system that fights, right? It fights bad things that comes in our body so that we can be healthy and alive. So, but these microbiota, they're influencing immensely our immune system. So to the point that right now there's a lot of talk about longevity, and they are saying that they're discovering that the immune system, the aging of the immune system is in relationship immensely about our biological age. Our biological age is the age of all of our organs compared to our age since we're born, right? So if our microbiota is messed up, so what does that mean? It means that there is a dysbiosis, so there is an imbalance in our microbiota. So there's really good micro little organisms, and then some organism, they're not quite as good for us. Maybe we need them in much smaller quantity, but if they are there in smaller quantity, then they can be beneficial to us, but in big quantity, then it's great, is not good. And this microbiota we get from when we're born. And throughout our life, we also get different microbiota, and the more diversified, so the more different kind of little organism that we have, the healthier our microbiota is, which means that when our microbiota is healthy, it produces the proper components for us to be healthy. But if our microbiota is not healthy, it's not producing the proper component. It can destroy part of our body, and because it's not producing the components for us to be healthy, then chronic diseases start. So now they're saying they're going. So we knew about the axis of stress, but now it's incredible how it's not just the axis of stress, is the axis from the microbiota in our digestive system to our brain, is the axis of the digestive system, the microbiota, to the heart, to the kidneys, to everywhere, all of the organs in our body. So if our microbiota is not healthy, it will consequently bring us many of the chronic diseases. So like IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, depression, um, the hormonal imbalance. It'll be causing problem with our perimenopause, menopause. It'll cause all kinds of inflammation, diabetes, obesity, allergies, digestive issues, malnutrition. So some of our vitamins won't be made because some of the microbiota are making some of our vitamins, but also if they're imbalanced, so they might cause some problem to our intestinal wall where we absorb things. So if we cannot absorb things, malnutrition starts. They produce neurotransmitter and they help transport some neurotransmitters. So if that's not done, then depression, anxiety. So you can see it's really affecting now to a very deep level. Without microbiota, we wouldn't live very long. And what caused the microbiota to be unhealthy? So how come we have that? Well, we can start from birth. If you're born from a cesarean and you're not breastfed, then you're not picking up as good seeds for your microbiota to start with. And so that can be an issue. So some of the people that are like that, they will get more eczema for sure. The research has shown that. I see in my practice a lot more in ear infections, skin issues, bowel issues, more colic. But as we go and we pick up some others, the food that we eat can cause us to have a lot of issues. So if you think about it, if you think about how sick people are now in our planet, right? How sick they are. We're maybe living a little longer, but people state of health is not better. So all the chronic diseases and all the complication from that. So okay, and then if we look at the planet is having issues, big issues. So what we have to remember is every time you eat, you bring new bacteria in your digestive system, and these bacteria will help your microbiota to be more diversified and healthy, unless it's an aggressive, invasive microbiota. So what we do now for farming, what do we put on our plants? Well, we put pesticide or herbicide. So now we kill all this microbiota that we're supposed to be eating and that is supposed to be helping us. So we really need to rethink about our role on the whole health of our planet and what we're doing with our planet and what it's doing to us. Antibiotics that we take. So we know antibiotics kills bugs. Well, they're bugs. So once you take antibiotics, you will kill your good bugs, not just a bad one. You might not kill them all, but you will kill some of them. And it's fine if you need the antibiotic, that's good. But that's where the abuse of antibiotic becomes a big issue. But also, if you take antibiotics and you don't know or you don't think that you are killing some of your good bacteria and you don't replenish that, well, you might kill the bacteria that is causing issue at that moment, but you're also opening yourself for a lot of different systems not working because of the imbalances that now you have caused in your microbiota. So some medication, not just antibiotics, some other medication also will cause a problem with the microbiota. Stress is a big one because of the cortisol being produced. It'll be it will go and change the receptors in some of those bugs, the good bugs in your microbiota. and your immune system will see them as bad bugs. So stress will cause a lot of issue, and that's a big problem in our world now. Junk food because there's no nutrition in the junk food. So, and not only that, is loaded with sugar, is loaded with chemicals that hurts the microbiota. The sugar will feed a lot of the bad microbiota, so you'll get an imbalance very quickly. Being overtired will cause an issue, because overtired, your body will feel under stress. So those chemicals will be produced, and then the cycle goes, and then you're hurting your microbiota. Lack of contact with others. So during COVID, when we're not connecting with all these people, it really hurt us in some way. In some other ways, maybe some of it was needed, but in some ways it hurt us because we didn't need to fight all these bacteria that we're coming in contact with, but also we didn't have these bacteria coming in. A lot of the bacteria, because we were with the same people all the time, we are our microbiota diversification might have changed, and that might have caused problem with the our immune system, our first contact of our immune system. And therefore, when we went out in the world, because our first contact might have been compromised with our immune system, we might have jumped very quickly to our second phase of fighting a bug. And that's a lot more aggressive. And that can cause a lot of issues at times with our body. So toxicity also in the food, and the toxicity in our environment, that will cause a lot of issues to your microbiota. So we have to be careful. One of the thing is the plastic. We have to be so careful of what surrounds us with that and how we bring that into our body, because that will hurt not only the microbiota, but a lot of the receptors that we have on our cells. And the trauma, because of the stress that it causes and all the hormones, will cause also a big imbalance in our microbiota. So we need to feed it. We need to, it's like they're in partnership with us. And if you don't think they're in partnership with you, you're not thinking properly about, I think, about your microbiota. But also, if you don't have an awareness, or if you don't, if maybe you have a bit of awareness, but if you don't put a bigger awareness about what is the microbiota doing for you, you're not going to take care of it. We're not taking care that much of our body. Unfortunately, we're not really taught to do that. We're not really taught. We're taught that we should have a big humongous TV, but not taking care of our microbiota. So if we need to be very aware. We need to see, okay, they're helping us in our life, and they're partners with us. So how do we feed them? And fibers will help them grow and will help them thrive. And so so plants, a lot of good vegetables will feed them very well, so that they can produce better chemicals for us, so that the vitamins can be produced, or neurotransmitter can be produced, and it also will produce chemicals that will help hormones being produced, all the other organs to function better, and our immune system to function better. So, and we can take probiotics if you need it. You can eat a bit of fermented food. It depends also on the rest of your physiology, but there are ways that we can do some meditation to decrease our stress. So there are ways in our lifestyle. And also, one of the biggest way for us as we're living, but also for the future, for the next generation, is to think about what are we doing with our planet? How do we grow our food? what are the animals that we eat, that we consume, what are they eating? And what are we stopping of being very good to come into our body and to help us being healthy? Because of what? Because of profit or because of nutrition? No, well, we have to feed everyone. But the thing is that if we don't see the problems that we're causing with some of our techniques that we use, uh, how are we going to invent something better? So we need to think about what is our responsibility for the planet and for future generation, so that we can support our body. And we know that supporting our microbiota is a way to support our body uh, that much more, and to decrease even the strain on our medical system. So, but mainly for us to be able to use our brain longer, for us to be able to be excited about living, to have passions, to be motivated to go and to have good relationship with people. All of this, your microbiota influences.